A 5, 6, 7, 8 Lillian Bustle.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm so excited.
See, bad dress rehearsal, good performance. That's what it
Oh, we love that, don't we, Lillian Bustle?
is. We do, Jen Ponton.
Oh, hooray. Thespians, today we have with us here on Dreading the Boards one of my closest, most wonderful friends, Koch.
I just made little puppy noises. I miss you, Jen Ponton.
I miss Koch so much. So if Lillian is my podcast and first day job wife, Kay is my second day job and puppetry work wife. Kay has been, especially in the last few years, thriving like no one else in musical theater, has been doing a gender bent production of 1776 like 1,400 times.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Who do you play?
Thomas Jefferson.
Yes.
This was those of us who have been doing this since November of 2017, we just, because we just closed, we did this down in Maplewood with a theater organization down there. And those of us who've been doing this since November of 2017 realized this was 1776 6.0. Pretty much every time a group, and every time we've done it, just PSA before this turns into a whole sidebar about 1776, we've always done it with a women's charity in mind. Like the first time we ever staged it, we did it for Planned Parenthood. The next time out, we did it for, actually, when we did it in Hackensack, it was for a super local organization called Strengthen Our Sisters. Every time, we've sold like crazy and we've been able to like really turn some good money.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So it's been great. Also, and to be clear, MTI, if you're listening, we haven't changed a word of the script. It is literally just all women playing these roles. I am still Mr. Thomas Jefferson, but and we do talkbacks with the audience.
Their contouring is insane.
That's okay. I'm also low-key auditioning to play Javert in Les Mis. But anyway, if you've seen that crazy 80s makeup that everybody wore.
Oh my God.
No, but it's like every time we do a talk back with our audiences with this show, it's been the biggest thing they said to me is, I got over it so quick and I just got so invested in the story. And I said, but it's funny how it just sits there and you're going, I'm hearing these words about the founding of this country being spoken by the gender who weren't even able to vote at the time, didn't have any say in what was going on. So like it's always had a real strong response. We have people who've been to all 6 runs of it and it's like, we love you.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah. So Mr. Jefferson.
Kay has been a founding mother for that major production. Also then went on to play the baker in Into the Woods. Has done everything. Oh my God, my heart. Sondheim Ever. Has done a production of Assassins. Is currently starring as Maria in a production of The Sound of Music.
To make a left-hand turn. It's like, man, wait. Julie Andrews.
Most feminine role ever.
Yeah. Occasionally I'm a woman. Just occasionally. That's on the resume.
Kay and her husband Packy and I also co-founded Packy Productions, which is a puppetry house where we run, operate, and voice a whole family of majestic puppets who are very much like a hybrid of TGIF and the Muppets. It is our heart song. Kay is a classic rock maniac and could out-trivia anybody on anything, especially Styx or any number of the iterations.
Come on, ma'am. The Beatles, Queen. With love to Styx, because I do love them, and I'm the first person to smack someone down when they throw shade, but...
I didn't realize Styx was so divisive in this day and age.
Well, 70s progressive rock, what can I say? As we get older and the kids go, who? Like, every single child I'm working with on Sound of Music is like, who are those people? On my
oh my God,
I will go gently walking to the sea now.
Oh my God. Kay and I have made 5 and almost 6, but interrupted by COVID, seasons of our puppet series, The Weirdos Next Door, which we will also link to in show notes. It's a fucking delight. And Kay is also mother to 5 feline babies.
Yes, I am. It's fine. They're all good. They've gotten so much quality
amazing.
time with me during lockdown. Like,
oh yeah,
the fact that I'm starting to go out and do theater again is upsetting for them. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And by that I mean they don't much care, but it's fine.
They were so wee when when we got locked in.
Cats are like roommates. Like, we still haven't committed to having a dog because that's just a step away from having a child. Like, the cats don't care. The dog has needs. The cats are like, okay, you put food on the floor, awesome. And if that gets used up, I'll raid the fridge.
Do I love you? I'll think about it.
Yeah, maybe I'll come cuddle you, but also if you touch me in that place, you will bleed like you have never been blood in your life.
So Lillian, I know you know this because you and Kay have met before, but there is not a single theater story that Kay doesn't have fucking crazy
My God.
stories about. So I
Yay.
almost feel like I want to let you just chase whatever carrots you wish.
Bring it on, baby.
Well, it's funny because I also, the moment episodes started dropping of Dreading the Boards, I was like, yes, this is awesome. It's like hanging out with your best theater friends after rehearsal, or, you know, when you're all going to the diner at 2 a.m. and like making horrible food decisions, but no one is judging. The servers are like, what just happened? I thought I was going to be cut now. But
That's because we're all like, we deserve this.
No,
You don't know what we've been through.
Exactly. And so I was explaining it to my husband Packy, who I actually met doing theater. I'm tempted to start with a story from how I met him because the first couple episodes, you guys were really on a Guys and Dolls kick. So I felt like I just need to bring that little chestnut back into the room.
Love it.
But I was explaining the show to him, first of all, and he was like, yeah, no, it's like war stories. And I went, or like one of my friends was like, so it's just like talking shit for 2 hours. And I was like, not exactly. I was like, there's something beautiful about the stories, no matter how awful, no matter how you feel like you've aged just standing on that stage while this happened. It's like this thing we earned. It's like if you were like a fighter plane, you'd have these little things on the side, like the number of shoot downs, like those little marks they used to make on the side, like the Red Baron. It's like, I survived that, and now you need to know how it went down and enjoy just like I did and swap stories. That's what this is. I'm like, this is my happy place to be. So
Yay.
having queued that up, yeah, I met Packy doing Guys and Dolls way back in the mists when I was in college, and that was my other time I got to play a romantic lead because they cast me as Sarah Brown. So literally, it's been that long though. It was like, wait, baby, in college, and now I get to play, you know, a girl again. It's fine. I'm all good. As one of my friends put it when I was lamenting being cast as guys, she's like, "Oh, you mean you're castable?" Shh. Thanks. Fair. Very fair. Yeah. But we met doing Guys and Dolls. I was Sarah. Packy was Harry the horse. So not the gambler who winds up with Sarah, but he did ultimately in the end. But one of our good friends, John, who was playing Sky, he also didn't usually get cast as romantic leads. So this was really kind of a lovely therapy for both of us. So one of the things that comes along with being the romantic lead is getting to sing that big romantic ballad. You're singing each other's song, like each have a verse of it. So I think it might have even been opening night. We're singing I've Never Been in Love Before. We're face to face. He's wearing this beautiful white fedora. I'm like really into it, you know. And I become aware, first of all, it's outdoor theater. And we are in a venue where at 9 p.m. on the nose, the bugs come out of the woods.
Oh, no. Oh, outdoor theater upstate, by the way, which is the least reliable place to do anything
Saratoga
outside.
County, like we're talking upstate, like north of Albany. And
When
so
you get on the train, wait.
then they
You
get off at
Saratoga.
for the, we don't have the rights. Okay.
That's
No,
fine.
so-
You should have just let me mangle the words.
It's all good. Then they won't know. No one will know. So it's the end of Act 1, which means we're closing in on Ding and the bugs come out of the woods. So John turns away from me, overcome with emotion. And on his beautiful white fedora, I become aware of this huge ass beetle that is sitting on the back, and its little feelers are doing the at my face. Like, don't break. And so he turns back to me, and I gently put a hand up and I like smack it off the back of his hat. I come off stage and he's like, why did you hit me? And I was like, because Godzilla was on your hat. But that was also the show, I think, where I had that. Nobody, I think, has mentioned this yet when they've been talking about theater stories, but you know that moment where you feel like you're really in the zone with your lines, you know what you got going on, and then suddenly it all goes, it goes away. And when that happens musically, it's especially upsetting because, in my mind anyway, because you've got an angry MD, especially if it's a duet, and I remember the night with I've Never Been in Love Before, distinctly the second verse's words are coming out of my mouth, and I'm like... No. Now, do I just sing these words again, or do I try desperately to claw back whatever what were the first verse? So I did it, but I sang the song backwards that night. So yeah, I just had to share Guys and Dolls to start, because I was like, I have things.
I immediately turn into Dean Martin when I go up in a song. Immediately. And I'm like, it's a bop, bop, skidooby dop, crazy doll. Like...
and there are some shows where you can fake okay, but let's say you're in the middle of like a Sondheim or something, and you're like, oh, nope, those are...
Oh, no. That was a plot point there.
Exactly. And I've done Into the Woods enough now to know that when those words go away, you've just got to sit there and go, okay, did we cover? Okay.
Beans. Is it fair to say you know things now?
The cow is white as milk.
Skip it.
Keep watching.
Lentils.
This is all plot.
Pretty much, exactly. Who thought a sung-through exposition was a good idea?
He was so brilliant and really up to the stakes for all of us.
I was going to say, is this like, have you guys, is this going to be the first putting any energy on the fact that Mr. Sondheim has left us? Because that was such a shock for me over the holiday weekend. I mean, he was just such a genuine fan of the art form too. Like, you know, I have not just one or two, but literally like a dozen friends who have Steve Sondheim was in the audience. Like, I looked across and he was on the opposite side of the aisle, and I went, what do I say? Is there anything I can, I'm sure everybody said that. And then it's like, you know, I turned into a blubbering idiot, but I shook Stephen Sondheim's hand.
That's so great.
I saw Mindy Kaling post that when she, in the early aughts, or maybe late 90s, did a production of a show called Matt and Ben, where she and her best friend played Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Stephen Sondheim was there, and she sought him out afterwards and was like, oh my God, I love you. It's my dream to star in one of your shows. And he goes, well, you should star in your own shows. You're doing great. You're doing the right thing. What does it matter if it's my show? And she was like, oh, okay. And then, of course, went on to do The Office and The Mindy Project and so on and so. But like,
yeah. No, I mean, it's you know, I think sometimes theater gets sort of slapped with this like cold hard industry thing, and it's like there are people genuinely in there who just like, the more ships on the water, the more opportunities that there are, and you grow the creature. And those are the people you keep looking for when you do run up against the inevitable, any story insert here that you guys have had people mention.
Absolutely.
Be it a restrictive acting teacher, be it a co-star who is particularly unkind, like...
Yeah. But like it's the little gems like that keep us all coming back. Leah Delaria had a really good story about Sondheim also, where she was doing some tribute concert to him. And he was in the front row, and she was like, oh, I heard that you're going to be doing a revival of Into the Woods. What do you think about me as Little Red Riding Hood? And then later he was like, you know what? You're so funny that we forget that you can sing. And then when you sing, you're so good that we forget how funny you are. And I was like, that's so sweet.
Those are great compliments.
Right?
Such a mess.
Yeah, and then she was like, okay, Mr. Sondheim. And he was like, call me Steve. And she's like, then I pissed my pants and died.
I've heard that from more people, too. Because he would inevitably always get people come, Mr. Sondheim this, Mr. Sondheim that. He's like, just call me Steve. It's all right. I'm like, yeah. So we miss you, Mr. Sondheim. May more people pick up the torch of what you laid out there for us.
I think, and I saw this... I felt it, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, that. What's so crazy is that American musical theater is so young that, like, the fact that this formative, like, deeply formative person who definitely made it as deep and resonant as it is today, and not just fluff, right? This formative person, this truly god of musical theater, was somehow still alive, like well into the time of virtual reality. And so us like living with and among history, and especially being in the New York theater scene, and like having it be where this actual legend, this person who created so much of what the art form is, be right there and ask you to call him Steve, like he was part of our community and a legend. So it doesn't really, it doesn't feel like a celebrity passed away. I don't feel that distance.
Feels like your neighbor.
From it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of the immediacy, you know, and I've done some on-screen projects as well. But the thing about theater that, you know, for me was what kind of intoxicated me and pulled me in was that, you know, you'll hear endless people say about like the energy off the audience or just the people, the interaction, the moment that you can, yeah, you're going to perform this thing, if you're lucky, 8 shows a week, whatever it is, but you'll never have that exact same performance again. And, you know, the people who were there making the thing, the people who you will see after the show. Like, I was driving through the Village and friggin' Joel Grey walked in front of my car one day. I'm like, it's right here, kids.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. And those are the things that buoy you through when you're in the middle of, oh, I'm looking at some of my other stories I scribbled down here. And you're like, yes, that's why I'm here.
Yes. Bring it on.
So you said that I might know this story, and I might, but I certainly don't remember it by name alone. 3, the musical?
Okay, yes. All right. So, because I was just talking about the things you survive as you're a formative baby artiste. So I met Packy doing Guys and Dolls, and I was still in college. So I think, yeah, we met. I still had my junior year and senior year to go. So one of the things that we did on this, first of all, I'll put this out there as Jen calls my college magical Hogwarts University, but Russell Sage College in Troy, New York at the time I was there.
Hogwarts Girl Scout Camp.
Yes, there it is. There it is. Thank you. But all women's college, and we can get into the minutia later about why it was exactly like being at Hogwarts. We had names and colors. It was fine. But when you're a musical theater major at an all women's college, you know, a lot of questions get asked to you. Now, it wasn't the biggest university in the world. I was really looking for something that was going to let me get my hands in all aspects of production. And since we were a smaller thing, you'd get, you know, people, oh, my friend is working on a new show. We should workshop it. So we did. My senior year, couple local folk musicians, they were lovely people, really personable, but they had this idea to do this really female empowering musical about body image.
Oh, no.
And it was called 3, the Musical, with the tagline that changing your body will change your mind.
Uh-oh.
So our main, again, and I'm gonna, you think I'm changing names to protect the innocent, but I honestly, like the broad strokes and the silhouettes are all that remain from this. I tried to find my script in my garage, but I could not.
Bless you.
It is here somewhere.
Fuck.
But so 3, the Musical is about a woman with self-esteem issues. So she goes to kind of crazy Dr. Frankenfurter's place, also played by a woman, to get plastic surgery to feel better about her body. And she wakes up with 3 breasts.
I knew it! Oh, God. No, I feel like you've never told me this.
I swear it's fine. Well, then, I love seeing your genuine reactions in the moment, Jen, because I do not trot out 3 for everybody. So, yeah, that meant things like building a 3-cup bra prop, or as I wrote down in my notes here, female empowerment? Question mark. I mean, fortunately, it avoided like weird misogynistic traps, but it was definitely just really fumbling towards trying to like make us feel good about our bodies. Yes, in the end, it was all a dream. She does wake up with 3 boobs, but not really. It was all a dream. Like they Bob Newhart at the end, real hardcore. But surely the highlight of my college career arrived as we were performing the kind of 11 o'clock number where she's like, I need to look at this. It wound up being this weird mix of like kind of a Rocky Horror reject song, or like it was like the Time Warp's ugly cousin. Like all I know is I was standing center stage in Jedi robes, swinging a lightsaber while a person dressed as a cow ran by me.
Yes, that's exactly where I thought this was going.
Just another day at the office. Just another day at the office. Yeah, but it was one of those things where within a year I would move down to New York, and I was like, I'm just going to start doing original musicals too. Surely that must have been the bottom. I can only go upwards from 3 boobs. And one of the first workshops I did when I landed in New York was I swear this was real. I went looking for it, but I can't find it. They probably scrubbed the internet. Trump the musical. I am not shitting you.
My God.
It was a biography musical about Donald Trump, only as far as like when he was still hosting The Apprentice, and we just thought, he's like that weird, racist, creepy cousin guy.
Before life became so awful.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, my memory of it was we were told there were going to be backers in the audience, and it was going to be this big thing. I think we performed for 2 people and a cockroach. So... It got buried real fast, but it did get me.
Oh my God.
I was like,
oh my God.
It got me to stop, saying things like, surely we can only go up from here.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yep. That's learning your lessons.
Like to posit that Kay is the reigning queen of like parody names, particularly when she joins a production and it turns out to be a shit show. I feel like I wish I could go through the Rolodex of all the shows that you like. I mean, I don't think you have one for 1776, but
that's been actually pretty joyful. She said,
We've
"We've had some moments. One of our cast members fell off the stage recently, but it's been."
Did Franklin step on a banana peel?
No, it was Franklin though, and Franklin went head first. But anyway, that's another.
I know.
She's fine.
If anyone,
she was concussed, but she's fine.
What? Concussion? Oh shit.
Yeah. So, I think you may be thinking about, because I did start doing live theater again as things started opening up, like May, June, distanced outdoor theater. I feel like this is going to keep going back to outdoor theater. I did a production of a very famous Andrew Lloyd Webber musical from the 70s involving, I just say that I was alternately called the show either Jesus Christ Taco Tuck or Tetanus Christ Superstar. And Jen got the blow-by-blow on that one. But there were some strong production choices made, and I think I'll just come away from all the outdoor theater I did between May and... I mean, honestly, we were pushing it into September that just because you feel like, it's easy, it's theater, we're just moving it outdoors, it is not.
No.
You need to make sure your venue has power backstage. You need to make sure that you have, coverage for your band. So when it rains, when there is a, hurricane that comes blowing up the coast, that you have an alternative. You have an indoor venue for rain. Those things.
Oh fuck!
Simple things.
We
Those
talked
things.
to a friend of mine, Brett, who did outdoor theater in Galveston, Texas, which is I think along the Gulf, or like it's on an island or something. And there was a hurricane basically, and the whole orchestra pit filled up with water. Oh. And the whole production got flooded.
Outdoor theater can be done. You just need to plan for, and not just like have a plan B. You need like a plan G.
It's a whole other thing. It's just like if you're doing theater on a cruise ship, this is something I wouldn't have thought about. You have to have different kinds of bolts and fasteners because of the way the ship is constantly rumbling.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, shit will just come loose and fall down.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
God.
They use an entirely different set of like clamps and stuff for the lights.
Dang. I mean, that makes total sense. Like,
yeah, but it's the same thing for theatrical stuff, and also like all of the outdoor stuff that I've ever done where nobody uses microphones, and I'm just like, fuck you. Like, unless you're in my lap, that's the meanest thing that you can ever do to a performer is have them like scream outside.
My second production of Into the Woods, one of which I just did outdoors, it's all fun and games until the town decides that today is the day they need to leaf blow everything right across the street. It annihilated any audio from Giants in the Sky right up to Agony.
Agony indeed.
It was. It stopped. Although in fairness, it did stop it. Did I abuse her? And like it suddenly went away. And I swear there were audience members who clapped.
Oh, yay. I would have. I absolutely would have.
It was
Are you
like
kidding
kissing
me?
babies. The war is
Okay,
over.
I would have run across the street and told them to fuck off is what I would have done.
We
If I
were
was in
looking
the
at our
audience,
stage
I would have been
manager.
like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
Leaf blowers are already futile, let alone when there's clearly art happening.
Right. I know that you're just doing your job, but do it later.
Oh my God. I mean, there were enough of us. Again, some names changed to protect the innocent or the I just don't want to go back there. I think really just our stage manager by that point of the run, because it was the last performance, was just like, I can't. I have no fucks to give. And not a person blamed her that day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh fuck. Kay, what was that Christmas show you did?
Oh, the title that I'm not sure I can say on this, but
I mean, you can say it here unless you want to withhold it for.
well,
people who might
no.
be
I will just
listening.
say that we affectionately called it Doggy Style in Fucktown. But and all that's the other thing. When you decide to do an all a cappella musical, you probably want to dedicate more than I know this is an audio format only, but Lillian's face is precious right now. You need to dedicate more than like 2 weeks to learning the score. You know, they were trying to be, what was that Broadway musical, In Transit, I want to say?
Yeah,
It
yes.
was Here and Gone, which was a great idea. I love that. That's actually one of those shows I'd still like to do. But it was like, you know, and I was in a college a cappella group, love the medium, love it, have college a cappella on my iPod long past when I probably should as a 30-something. But it was just, yeah, choices were made there too that I actually very much, I wound up picking up, this is one of those weird themes too, I pick up some of my dearest friends during some of my most dire theatrical experiences.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
This is a thing. This is an actual
Trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
Always.
And if you're lucky, you then get back together and do it on better material. So I don't think I picked up anybody from Trump, but it's probably just as well.
Was the music at least like well conceived for that show? It just didn't come together. as
Doggy
far as
style or
rehearsals?
Trump? Because
Doggy style.
no, it was actually, to be honest, I would have loved to do that show with a different production team.
Sure.
I also don't understand why they decided to rewrite like half of the songs, because from what I have now heard of that, like halfway through they went, let's redo this song. And I was like, okay, was there a real reason, or are you just wanting to put your own stamp on it? Because there are artistic reasons, and then there are kind of the version of like just needing to rub your kitty scent glands all over it to prove it's yours now. Like
What a very diplomatic way to say that.
yeah. So I think at its core it had some good stuff. But by the end of it, all we could call it backstage was Doggy Style.
Oh,
And they're like, it's a
gracious.
Christmas musical for children, and I just felt so bad for the kids who were brought there.
oh no, mommy, why?
Some of my favorite theater, like I was probably first exposed to theater as a kid, you know, because they'd bring in
Yeah.
like the local community theater organization where we'd like, you know. So for me, I was like, fundamentally, I love that idea, just not this show.
Just not this show.
Take them,
Deft your hands.
make them watch Rudolph. They'll get more out of it.
What is redefining the floor?
Oh, I'm just talking about in terms of like when
Oh,
I think we kind of just touched on that as far as like never say, well, it can only go up from here.
Yep.
yes.
You're
got it.
karmically inviting something that I don't
yeah.
think you know you are.
Rock bottom is a movable goalpost. That's for
Oh
sure.
God, that musical stood for so much.
I do, yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say,
Uh-oh.
okay, so I don't mean to air Kay's home video laundry here at all.
Jen has seen my home videos. We're that close.
So there's
Some of them aren't blurred. Okay.
There's a video from like 3rd grade where Kay is not an astronomically tall human being, but I guess she was the tallest kid in 3rd grade.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So she shot up like a little bean sprout in
did.
her class.
I was born at 5'6", and then world just got sad from there.
So it was like maybe the Christmas recital or something.
Oh,
but,
no,
it
it was the annual talent show, because even
was
though I
the
didn't
talent show.
formally do theater until I was a lot older, I was always in the talent show. I was playing something dumb from my piano lessons or whatever it was. So I had this idea to get all of my classmates, and apparently, yeah, my theme was
Oh my God, wait, this is so intrepid. So I don't think I realized that all this time that I've been replaying it and laughing in my mind. I definitely thought it was like what your school did for the recitals. So this is very industrious of you that you wrangled people to be your ensemble.
I had a lot of friends. They were like, well, because there were a lot of people who they liked the idea of it, but they didn't want to do anything solo. So really, I was trying to put together like a group thing. B.S. only child.
Brilliant.
So yeah,
that's so brilliant. Okay, first of all, that's adorable. So secondly, this is going to be Kay's second time playing Maria.
Oh God. Well, okay, yeah, no, that getting all my friends together thing, and then my mom made this cardboard backdrop where everyone stuck their head in the notes for do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of audience family that was just like, ah, but I was like, and of course I'm gonna sing when you know the notes to sing, and and Jen, don't think anytime we're working this in rehearsal, I don't immediately think of you and I see you like wheeze laughing, rather like you are now.
Lillian, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. We need a clip.
No,
yes. You have it
insert
digital.
Here.
Yeah. So and when you watch the home video in 1994, the piano, the dinky piano starts, and so all these other little kids are coming out.
Their heads in the holes.
To start do, re, mi. And then, so it's like, munchkin, 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 ostrich girl.
Who invited Big Bird? And I wasn't singing it subtly either. I knew I was the counter melody, and I was excited.
Yes.
And so I'm looking, and Kay's like, watch this talent show. And I'm like, okay. And I'm looking for her. And with each child, I'm like, is that Kay? Is that Kay? And then Big Bird comes out. And
I was wearing an ill-fitting Easter dress, as I recall. This is turning into a mortified Jen.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
No.
So good.
Because it is funny that life came back round. I've never auditioned for Maria von Trapp, and I was like, when this production came along, I went on tape for it. I was doing another show at the time. My friend was like, Sound of Music, right? Okay. And she's like, and read this side. And poor Packy, my husband comes downstairs and reads it with me, and it was the most ersatz thrown together in a hurry audition tape ever.
Oh,
and
amazing.
They called me, and I went, sure, what the heck. It has meant that the last 2 months of my life, it's been afternoons in Austria and then going to Philadelphia at night because 1776 just closed. So let me just tell you, the commute from Austria to Philadelphia is rough on the car.
Okay, I have a dream act that I want to put together, and the only reason I really haven't is because it's going to involve actually getting somebody to make me a dirndl with lots of pockets. But you'll appreciate this. So I have an idea for a Lonely Goat Herd where I'm singing or lip syncing a Lonely Goat Herd. And I just have goats coming out of everywhere. Just goats under my skirt, goats down my dress.
Except,
and then they all sing.
I'd want to engineer this to Puppeteer along with you.
Of course, then they pull my dress away.
Is this a formal ask for us to be your puppeteers?
I mean, well, ideally it's going to be me /servos, but
she's going to Dark Crystal that nonsense. Don't you worry. Although, Jen, it wouldn't be the weirdest puppet situation we've ever been in together. I'm referring to doing student films in a bar that they... That.
Oh my God.
Speaking of war stories, and that wasn't even live theater, but Jen was like, so I'm doing this student film. This was when we were just starting to collaborate. She's like, and they need a puppet design. And I went, okay, it's got to look like the lead actor. I went, cool. And I gave some way underballed price to do it, but I was like, this is fun and this is something to do. And then she's like, would you like to puppeteer on set? I went, oh my God, all my dreams. Yes, I'm coming. We arrived to this.
Oh no.
Where were we, Jen? The Upper West.
We were not far from Columbia, so we were on the Upper West Side, like 110th-ish.
But it's like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
This is a late night bar.
And it was warm, Kay. Do you remember why I would remember it was warm?
Well, when we went inside, is it because of what we found indoors, or is this what? Because we. Oh boy! All right, everybody, strap in. So, when you puppeteer, you're on the floor a lot. Surprise, surprise. So they're like, yeah, this puppet character comes up to the bar, and I forget even what the setup was, but it was like it meant that I needed to be on my knees behind a bar that was sketchily cleaned at like 3 a.m. And Jen is like, there are flies, like to the student director.
Everywhere.
Oh, God.
Everywhere. All over. And I'm like, where are they coming from? And we realize it's the taps.
Yep. Yep, because if you don't clean those things,
Nope.
they get mighty sugary.
So I don't even remember, Jen, my broad strokes memory from there, because I think I have repressed a little, was a man and a pesticide can. And now it's fine.
Oh my God, I forgot!
Oh, God.
I forgot that part. I forgot the fix. I repressed that one.
Yeah, no. They sprayed my out music for this is they sprayed the taps down and went, it's fine now.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Wow.
Right. Thank you.
And then
this
we got
is
the
why
shot.
my best friend's best friend is an
Done.
important, which, by the way, I'm stealing you very soon for an All the Fucks offshoot called My Best Friend's Best Friend, where you and I co-tell Lillian stories.
Please.
Because we both remember different pieces of them. Yeah, that's right. They came in with a giant can of like Raid and
Sprayed that
sprayed the
down.
taps, and they were like, do.
Yeah, have fun continuing to breathe this.
Well, that was my thing. I was like, okay, sure, I'll go down low and just we'll get through this.
Above
Never
the
have I
fucking
felt
fog.
more awkward on my knees than the first time I did urine, or second time I did Urinetown. Really short, quick story, but funny because the second time I did Urinetown, I was at a technical university doing it, and they were really in love with the technical. It's probably the most beautiful show I've ever done, but they aren't. There's no theater major. There's no like. These are guys who are all going to be like, getting the technical Tonys. It'll be aired on PBS the hour before the award show. But they had this genius idea because in the opening, I was playing Pennywise, not the clown, the woman. Penny and Bobby walk out, and like the poor are supposed to be just asleep on the stage floor. And they're like, wouldn't it be cool? They went through like 8 fog machines. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we had like a cold fogger? And we're like, okay, what's that mean? Like, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. It's a fog machine. And like, no, it stays low to the ground. Like and I was like, that's cool. That's a great idea. Like that way they'll see us.
So it's not like
they'll see us above the fog. It's
cool,
great,
cool.
Except for one thing. Cold foggers create CO2 at knee level. Like, whoa. They were apparently designed to actually, and again, someone who actually knows the science can call me out on this, but like, it was once upon a time meant to distribute pesticide on a low level. Hey, Jen, look, we didn't know we were going to go down this hole.
Wow. Wowie, wow.
So we're like, okay, cool. It looks great. But Chris, who's playing Bobby next to me, is aware of the science, and he stops and he goes, you're using a cold fogger? He's like, do you want to kill the ensemble who's on the floor? Like, they turned on the cold fogger and there's no oxygen.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yikes.
my God.
So they scrapped that idea. But yeah, I don't use
Oh, my God. You have got to write a murder mystery novel where that's like the thing.
Things I learned in theater. Oops, almost killed the ensemble. Sorry. Quick show. They're like, is everyone okay? And I think there was a little lightheadedness, but they were fine.
Wow.
But it looked damn good. That's a whole
It would have worked too if it wasn't for you kids and your meddling K.
Are they okay? They're fine. It's art. This number's what, 3 minutes? I was like, yeah, but they have to sing. Oxygen is needed for singing. I hear.
Boo.
So you can tell us any theater story you want ever, but not for nothing. Boy, have we had so many delightful, strange learning curves in producing.
Yeah, we have. And some of them didn't involve being at a diner at like, what, 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 in the morning at the State Line Diner, still covered in glitter and hairspray, and making all the older people mad because you just want fries and water.
Oh, it's been funny in producing. It's been funny in producing Weirdos because I feel like a lot of that we're gonna figure this out and make it work comes kind of from a theater world, just being like it's got to work and it's got to work by 6. You know.
1,000%.
Is this the right kind of tape?
1,000%.
Will it hold for 20 minutes? Well, yes, then it's the right kind of tape.
That's it. We are so industrious. Kay, so much more than me, but we'll take it collectively. But like the amount of things that we do that are definitely not like legit, but they get it done in the time that the camera is rolling.
Does the industry do it this way? Do we care? No, keep going.
We don't care. Keep going.
Pretty much.
God, I mean, where would you like to start?
There are a bajillion examples, but it is funny that we started with pesticides and then we're like, let's keep doing shows. Let's produce an entire series that's ours. We did discover the thing in Puppet where any puppeteers listening will go, duh. But I think sometimes when we would write scripts or scenes or setups, we would always approach it from the standpoint of a human can do this and not necessarily get that there aren't, hands that move or like, well, how are they going to see? Like there's a delightful run of outtakes from some of our puppets are rod traditional, which is to say the hands on the sticks. And you'll think of that whenever you think of Jim Henson and family doing puppeteering. There's the other ones called live hand. Live hand are basically glove puppets where you've got a secondary puppeteer who's moving the hand around. So my husband's primary character is a live hand puppet, and we had this great idea to have him sitting out at the back table with Jen's character talking over a can of Coke. And the problem is sometimes the situation isn't great for him to have a great monitor to be able to see what's going on. So it really did turn into reaching around on the table trying to find the Coke can.
Fumbling,
or grabbing,
holding this slippery can that was, for some reason, in our first take, actually full of soda and not water.
Which
and
was
we were
also
like,
horrible.
no!
And then turning it upside down, and poor Jen being like, nope.
Oh, no. No.
Learning how to walk down the stairs. Specifically Kay. Kay's really the only one of us who can do it.
Well, we kept having... I have a couple different characters that I play. One of them, Wellington, he'd be here eventually. He's a bit of a social recluse who lives in the basement, and so it means a lot of setups of him coming up the stairs, or falling down the stairs, or coming around the corridor. And so we had learning curves with that, but some of the characters you don't really see walking around, just a lot of static setups until... Again, my husband's primary character, oh God, Packy, we're not ragging on you. I love you so much. When we had to get him to like walk into shot, we hadn't really thought about what this character's feet looked like, but he kept riding just a little bit lower with every take. Until it was just a head.
The horns on top would just sink slowly like he was doing an elevator joke.
Yes.
Because a lot of times it is physical. Puppeteering is such a physical thing. And now let's pat our head, rub our tummy, remember our lines. So, oh, hey, how you doing?
Do it in the mirror. By the way, thespians, not only do we have like the episodes as they should be, we also have
Outtakes.
Literally endless bloopers.
Yay.
Endless bloopers.
Tales from crazy puppeteering land. But yeah, we would always
so
fundamentally skip a groove and be like, it can do whatever a human can do.
Yeah. Oh, and there are...
Untrue.
There are 2 particular sets that we kind of built outdoors.
Yes, we did.
That were challenging at best.
At best. Again, we got to get this shot off. I don't care if it's windy as hell today. We're getting it done.
We were going to shoot a fantasy sequence with Wellington the sheep to the song
Come a little bit closer.
Come a little bit closer by Jay and the Americans. And this is Wellington's fantasy that is spurred by him seeing Jen and Rudy, Packy's live hand puppet, hanging out.
That was the same setup actually with the Coke can. This is all going back to the same episode.
It is. It's all the same episode. So what we decided to do, we never shot at night, but what we decided to do for Come a Little Bit Closer was to shoot it in the evening and like light it up and make it look really gauzy. And Kay did a bunch of stuff in post. And
the idea
Kay
was like it was like a Spanish restaurant, you know. it was like
right.
yeah.
Very like 90s music video. And so, and it was windy. So we were like, well, what if we get like billowy, satiny sheets? And
This is all great in theory. All great in theory.
And I got a pair of sheets from like, I don't know, a garage sale.
Jen was like, I have these beautiful red satin sheets. They'll be great for the curtains.
I hadn't opened them yet. They were free. And
She didn't tell me. It came from a hoarder situation.
Right. Right. So I bring these sheets to Kay's house, which is where we shot everything always. I bring these sheets to Kay's house, and we're setting up at like 3 p.m. or something, and I unwrap the sheets, and it's just this enormous fragrance of urine?
Vinegar. We were like, why does it smell like vinegar? And then we realized that's what cat pee smells like when it's been real intense and left for like 50 years.
And we were like, let's let these air out.
We hung them anyway because we didn't have any. There's low budget, and then there's
my
whatever
gosh.
we were doing.
Oh, I thought it was going to be, for sure, I thought it was going to be a confetti of tiny little mouse poops when you shook it out. That's what I thought it was going to be.
No.
That was actually the issue because it was deceptive. They looked fine, and then as long as you didn't use your nose, which is a great idea.
Oh, man. And they worked really well, but it definitely smelled like we were covered in pea salad for the rest
Oh,
We were like, it's pea sheets night here at Weirdos Next Door.
Oh, God.
Everything ridiculous that we have done has involved a fantasy sequence. And we did another one that was basically, I mean, it was essentially its own music video. There was very little plot. Oh, there was some plot on either side. So we did some scenes on the front and back end. But basically, the whole excuse for this episode was for Ket, the little 6-year-old
Another of my
cat,
characters. I have multiple personalities, and that's before the puppets. No.
to have a dreamy fantasy about Kay's other, like, Scouse sort of Springsteen,
You mentioned
Bob
the classic
Dylan
rock. Yeah, he's my
type.
he's the Liverpudlian I wish I was.
For Troubadour to have this like rock god music video to Brian May's
Driven by You.
Driven by You.
Brian May from Queen. It's like, yeah. He just released that album again. Jen, I thought of you, and I thought of our green screen.
did?
I thought of our green screen that you're describing right now because we created a green screen studio on my back porch, thinking this was a great idea.
It was
With
so good.
a kid's motorcycle, because of course everything is puppet sized.
But not before we were like, how can we make like a Corvette? And we were like, we can't make a Corvette, and we also can't put a puppet in a real Corvette because it's just a puppet.
Not to mention, who's gonna let puppeteering people rent their Corvette without any insurance or anything? So it was like the classic car in our head became the Hot Wheels that Kay found on
It was
eBay.
so brilliant.
It worked.
You found it on eBay. They said that they were selling it because the battery was dead or something. So Kay got it for a song basically and brought home this little tiny Power Wheels that Troubadour looked real on because it was definitely what a motorcycle would be for a puppet.
Yeah. There's low budget, and then there's us.
so
But
cute.
it was so fun. And then we ran a fog machine, not a cold fogger, inside the green screen studio, so everyone's smoking. The light fixtures are looking borderline overly warm, but we got the shot.
And Kay somehow found this little tiny. Lillian, do you know what Brian May's hair looks like? It's sort of like tight now, silver curls. Tons and tons of silver
Like a big
curls.
mop of hair. Yeah.
Right.
So we smacked this on a puppet because that looked great. Just from the moment I did it, I was like, this is hysterical.
It's amazing.
Those are examples.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so much of that just sort of, we're going to figure it out and do it. And it's those moments where I still am like, I want to get back into producing more original content with you, Ms. Ponton.
I know, I miss you so much. We got so interrupted. The last thing we made was so good. We did a
Somebody's
little
watching me.
Yeah, it was a little
Halloween.
bottle episode, and we had been off for a while because I was shooting Dietland, and Kay was like, I really miss musical theater, so I was like, let me do some TV, you do musical theater, we'll come back to this. And so we were like, oh, I miss you, in 2019, and
Hey, you know,
we
some people
shot
take a gap year. Sometimes the world takes a gap year. It's fine.
we shot this bottle episode where we didn't like really forward the plot at all. We were just like, okay, let's let people know we're alive, and we did Somebody's Watching
Correct.
Me. And it was a send up of every horror trope and like every memorable frame from every horror franchise. So like
Nice.
there was a pickup of a phone and like Freddy Krueger's tongue coming through, which was a puppet tongue.
Yeah.
And there
Love
was
it.
Kay has
There was the balloon in the bathtub.
there was a balloon that popped in the back.
No.
What did we fill it with? Oh, we
Okay.
filled it with the corns. Yes.
Okay, another thing that I do as a side hustle, because in the theater you may need to find ways to supplement your income that aren't on stage all the time. My side hustle in college was doing Halloween haunted houses, and I got real good real fast at making zombies and knowing I know 8 different formulas for like blood at this point. So we're talking about how to
Put
get a
that
great
on your resume.
spatter pattern that would like bounce back onto Jen, and now we wound up with a reel of endless, like there's a hidden pin in the wall and I'm trying to bounce the balloon, and sometimes we got Jen, sometimes like the final take wasn't bad, but the effort to get there was laborious, and I did change blood patterns.
We did so many. It was so funny. It was so funny. We put in so many little and Kay, I don't even remember if you already had this or you picked it up at like Spirit Halloween or Party Box, but
Probably.
Kay got
Rest in peace, Party
a Michael
Box.
Myers mask,
Right.
for Halloween.
You're beating
And
me to
so-
this. Oh.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was literally going to try to tie it off and say, like, you'd think we would have learned something about outdoors night shoots and thinking through our stuff first, but there I am, like mid-October, it is 20 degrees outside in a Michael Myers mask, holding my gardening shears, and we're doing
Oh my
3 or 4
God.
takes of Jen, like, running.
Yeah.
And then the actual neighbors are like, it's fine. It's fine.
There are numbers. There are endless bloopers of a character showing up in the front door, and because we used the house, it like there was no set. It was just the practical house. So a puppet would be in front of the front door, and another puppet would open up the front door. And there are so many times that like a school bus stopped behind us, and children were like, "Who's that? What's that?" Or like a dog would start barking at the sheep that it saw.
the guy
Oh my
walking
God.
his dog who's like, is this porn?
Please be porn. Please be porn.
Low budget production, but also again kind of where your best stories come from. So
Oh my
like,
god.
Oh, God.
So fun.
and needing
so
to get
fun.
back to it, because we do have scripts that are still sitting undone yet that are
sure
absolutely
do.
something to come back to.
Oh, I love it.
I was just gonna say, Lillian and I have otherwise talked extensively about like the fucking pitfalls of being a puppet person in the puppet world, pre-Sesame and pre-Henson. So when you're still in the world of like weird fucking New Yorkers who run their own puppet companies, and then you have to do things exactly how they do, and like just how crappy that feels versus doing it yourself with people you love who like
Yeah.
get you,
Well-
and you make all your.
Jen, if I may take a quick side thing, because I know we like to talk about things that went sideways and upward ways and fell down and fell off the stage and got concussed. But
Yeah.
one of my best theater experiences was when you and I went to see All Hallows Eve that Halloween with Marty P. Robinson from Sesame. It was the most bizarre, beautiful mix of like Labyrinth and Little Shop and Rocky Horror.
Oh, Lillian, it was
down
so
in the village. It
amazing.
was so beautiful.
One of the
Ooh.
coolest things I have ever seen in my life.
It had so much Henson DNA in it, and I am inclined to blame the fact that Marty, cut his teeth on beautiful things like Sesame, and on Marty, who is I'm talking like he's my buddy. Hey, took over Snuffy Snuffy and Telly Monster. And Telly Monster.
Nice.
So
I
he's
love
OG
Telly.
Sesame.
So he-
That's
OG.
great.
So it's like in his blood. But Jen was like, we should go see this thing. And it was the most weird, immersive, wonderful, corner of like, there were people from Avenue Q who were involved in it. Like,
Oh, that sounds great.
and it was just this blink of time of like, what, they ran like 3 weeks, I think, Jen, or something like that.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
But, you know, that's, again, getting back to kind of the theater community of New York and why it's so great and so organic. And it's like, that's the kind of thing you grab in a bottle, like, yeah, sure, I want to come see this. You might wind up with a Trump, you might wind up with All Hallows Eve, but whatever you do.
Well, and I was about to ask
Yeah.
you, like, we love to ask what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen as an audience member? And it can be a disaster, but it can also just be something where you're like, oh, okay.
Well, I was involved in the show, but I had enough time off stage that I almost at times felt like an audience member. It wasn't quite one of those cameo roles, but it was one of those things where you're like, this is a big moment in the show, and I have nothing to do with it, so I can just sit off. Like, I'd climb out into the balcony and watch this number. This was the first time I did Urinetown, actually, because Run Freedom Run is this huge, beautiful number that's just funny. Ideally, you've cast it, because it needs dance, but you want non-dancers, because the joy of watching these people trying to just be like, we know what we're doing, like trying to do West Side Story, but they've had 3 beers. Like, that's the mode. So every night I would really look forward to going out to see these guys kick butt and do Run Freedom Run. That night, made my exit, doing my usual thing, and I'm aware that it's taking longer than usual to get to this number. I'm not sure what's happened, and then suddenly the fire alarm goes off in the building.
Oh, no.
Now, typically, this was also my first summer stock experience.
And the sprinklers were filled with urine. No.
That would have been a great idea. The sprinklers did not go off. In fact, they didn't even have people leave the building. It was one of those things. Okay, so to give you an idea of the venue we were at, won't name names, but our dressing rooms were in what we discovered later was the condemned section of the building. This is summer. This is summer stock. This is my first time. I just got my fancy BS in musical theater, which some people find redundant, but I'm changing. And so I don't know. I'm just happy to have a booking that's going to pay me gas money or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I'm a paid actor, so you know, we didn't know some things about the venue right away, including the fact that the fire alarm might want to go off right before Run Freedom Run, and we're like, oh my God, what's on fire? Did something go wrong? Blah 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 blah. And in the literally just everybody standing around with you again, no one evacuated the audience. They're just sitting there, and the alarms are going off.
Oh no. Oh no.
When the fire department finally responds, they're like, yeah, there's no fire. What I discovered was the basement was so derelict, run down, just not regularly visited by the maid service, that there was enough ambient dust that when something settled, it set off the fire alarm.
Wow.
So there's all
Air
this
particulates.
while they're trying to, which is great for singing, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
But so I'm like, okay, I guess we're not doing Run Freedom Run. As I'm thinking this, a bunch of us were brought in from New York because they had the auditions for this thing. And the kid who played Bobby Strong, you know, Bobby is supposed to be this very, well, first of all, we're talking about musical theater. So I'll say he's supposed to be like a young, very straight, very heterosexual, like dreamboat type. The kid they got was, well, he seemed much more interested in Mr. Strong than Mrs. Strong, we'll put it that way. And they put him in this little, like, it's supposed to be like, you know, a janitor's outfit, but it sure looked like a onesie. So he's standing, and it gave him the kind of camel toe that just anybody in the first row.
Oh God.
No.
So there is our Bobby, as the fire alarm is going off, in his blue onesie with his camel toe, and his mic is live going, am I still going to get...
longingly.
Yeah, he's standing out there looking pissed and goes, am I still going to get to sing my fucking song? With the live mic!
Yes.
Oh God.
So technically I was a part of this show, but as I felt like audience in that moment, and I sure felt like just kind of taking off my plunger, my costume, wiping my makeup, and walking out into the street and just keep going.
Just don't stop, Kay.
Yep. I have a Mike story like that. We were, I mean, the first issue is asking an actor to keep track of the on and off switch on their own microphone. Like, you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. It's never going to work out. But we were doing falsetto. No, wrong. Fantastics. Very different. In college. And, you know, there's different versions of the rape song that don't use the word rape now. Like, you can actually do
amazing.
the still, if you look at it, very problematic show.
Exactly.
But just without that particular word in it. But I guess my school was like, we're edgy. And so our El Gallo this was during a dress rehearsal, thankfully, but there were still people in the audience. So he comes off stage and he was warming up for the rape song. And so in the middle of a scene, you can hear him pee. And he's like, like he's like doing warm ups on the word rape.
Oh no!
And then you hear the flush.
Oh no!
Hot mics are their own subgenre in theater, by the way. I feel.
Truly.
Oh, 100%. And he was mortified. He was, and of course that was like, you know, a lesson to all of us to make sure that our shit was off. But like,
oh God.
Just curious, within this group of folks, have you all ever had the experience where they are selectively miking the cast and they're like, oh no, you have enough of a voice, don't worry about it. And I'd be like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna notice, and it's like, also that's a recipe for blowing my chords, but cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. I had that. I did the first paid show that I ever did was Man of La Mancha, and they definitely, I'm sure it was a budget thing. Like they only had the budget for a certain number of people to be mic'd. And to be quite honest, like the two leads didn't really need it. Like Aldonza and the guy playing Don Quixote, like crazy huge voices. But I was the maid who's like, I'm only thinking of him. La, la. And her whole shtick is like, whatever. It's like it's false. Her whole character is basically like, I'm so desperate for sex that I hope that he attacks me.
Yes,
like it's very
like
very
problematic,
tacky.
Thirsty. Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
deeply.
Yeah. But yeah, I was, and the other girl in the song, the daughter in the song, she was mic'd, and I was like.
And you weren't.
Just for consistency's sake, you guys. Like, this is going to sound dumb, but
you might want
one of the few things I didn't. Right. I wasn't, not my circus, not my monkeys. I was only 16.
Yeah, no. I mean, I have done some sound balance, some sound design, mostly because another side hustle, there are a few, is videography. So you have to kind of make that call, especially if it's a production that you can't just plug into their soundboard because they've got enough mics. Like that's the dream.
Yeah, this was in a Marriott conference room that we turned into a theater. So we were lucky that there was a backline at all.
But did your fire alarm go off when the dust settled?
No, but one of our giant bags of like burlap sacks that we were all sitting on did explode, and a million packing peanuts went everywhere. And our muleteers were so flamboyantly gay, they were on fire. Like it was.
Did they still get
one
to
of
sing
them
their
like
fucking song?
they were all like, we should be wearing eyeliner, right? And I was like, no. Stop it.
Not even a little guy liner. No.
Oh my God, so good.
And that's a whole other subgenre too, of when you're trying to save it and it's determined to not let you.
Oh. Yes.
Doubling down.
I did a production of Annie Get Your Gun in college that I was just, again, rando ensemble, but for the ballroom scene, for the when Annie comes in and everybody's dancing, and like they had done alterations on my dress because it was too big, but we didn't have time to check if the alterations were right before we had to go on that night. Hey, I read ahead. They put it in too much. It's jump time, it's quick change time, zipper ain't going up. So I was like, what do we do? And they're like, maybe you wear a shawl. And I'm reaching around backstage. There's no shawl to be found. I found a terry cloth towel. Sure. White terry cloth towel over my shoulders, a few questionable stains. And so I'm like, I'm in the back. Surely no one will notice this woman in a ball gown. So it looks like she's been to the spa. So, of course, then the way life works out, because I was like, I think I got away with it. I don't think anybody's going to notice. I'd forgotten that the choreography brings the back to the front at one point in time, and we, in fact, have to turn our backs to the audience.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like this terry cloth towel had a button or a fastener or anything. So I was
Right.
literally holding it with my hand, and I went, oops, and I'm dancing, and I've got my hand up, and I'm switching hands. But, of course, inevitably, both hands have to come up. And so the whole thing dropped with my back to the audience.
No.
Amazing.
Towel down, back revealed in my summer tan marking and linings like it's
Just flip over your hair, put it on, and twist it up. Save it.
And then we can do South Pacific. We'll do Watch
I'm
That
gonna
Man,
watch
and we'll
that
just
man
get off
right out of
stage.
my- There you go. Chased by bear.
Hey, if it was that outdoor theater venue, yeah, you better believe it.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, my goodness,
Perfection.
this has
Perfection.
Y'all, this is
fantastic.
so much fun. So much fun. Oh.
And I love watching you two bounce off of each other. It makes my heart sing.
Oh, I just love the shit out of her. We will definitely do a My Best Friend's Best Friend.
Please.
It's
Yes.
so good.
And then
all
we'll
I
do
have
more
to do is-
episodes. We'll do more weirdos.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes.
Where people can find you on the internet, where you'd like them to go, and also make sure you mention TikTok, because I brought you up to Liza, and she was like, I know her. She's on TikTok. And I'm like, excuse? Kay's on TikTok?
My TikTok, I joined TikTok mostly because of 1776, and I did a couple of those makeup cut ones. Like, again, I feel like grandma doing it, you know. I have done enough post-production to, like, I know I'm not doing it the way the kiddos do it. I'm, like, uploading what I've done on our studio cameras. Like, this is not how they're doing it at all.
I don't have any idea how those apps work.
But
wow,
no,
I aged myself.
It's all good. TikTok and Instagram are the same, actually. You can find me at Kelonzi. It's pronounced Kalonzi, and it was indeed my AOL screen name in 1998.
Yes, it was.
Because we are soulmates.
It's now my. I think I've said side hustle 6 times. It's also my VFX that I'm working on opening as an LLC, Kalonzi FX. But yeah.
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah. So Kelonzi. Pretty much anywhere you find that is me, just because it's such a weird conglomeration of letters. I cannot tell you what 14-year-old me thought it meant. I don't know, but I've held on to it.
I love it.
Oh, so good.
And kcook.com, which I just put back up, but yeah.
Perfect. Thespians, make sure that you check out Kay's contact info in the notes. You'll also have a link to our show, The Weirdos Next Door, which is so deep in episodes. Like, you can binge the hell out of that. It's a lot of fun.
Make sure you catch the bloopers.
The bloopers more than anything. Until next time, friends.
I'm going to throw this one to you, Jen.
Insecticide.
Until next time, friends. It's fine.
Murderous visual effects. I love it. Oh my gosh, amazing.
God.